Hi, Tom here and welcome to my new video, How to Draw a House in 2-point Perspective. The first step is to draw a horizontal line towards the top of your page. Next, draw 2 marks on your horizontal line, one on the left and one on the right. These 2 marks will be the 2 vanishing points in this 2-point perspective drawing. Now from the vanishing point on the right, we can draw a diagonal line going to the left-hand side of your page. And now we can draw another diagonal line from the left vanishing point to the base of your page. Where these 2 diagonal lines cross, we can draw a vertical line which is straight and vertical like these sides of your paper. This will be the near corner of the house we are drawing. Next, choose the height of the house and draw a diagonal line from this vertical line of the corner of the building to the vanishing point on the right, and then another diagonal line to the vanishing point on the left. So now we need another vertical line here to make the right hand side of the building, the far right hand side of the building, so we know it stops. From the top of this vertical line we can now find the back of the building by drawing another diagonal line going to the left vanishing point. Now if we repeat this process by drawing another vertical line on the left and then another diagonal line going to the right vanishing point, we get the basic structure of a 2-dimensional building complete. Now we can add some doors and windows on the right hand side of this building. Remember that all of the vertical lines stay vertical, and all of the lines on the right of this building will go to the vanishing point on the right. So now I have a diagonal line for the 2 floors of the building, and I am drawing a sliding door on the left hand side of the front of the building with possibly a window directly above it. If I continue the line from the top of the door to the vanishing point on the right, and then from the top of the window again to the vanishing point on the right, then as I add more doors and windows, I can create a more uniform look for all of these features of the building. If I draw these both at the same time, then I can line up the lines so it doesn't look too skew-iff. Now, for the front of this simple house that we're drawing, we can add a swimming pool. To do this, we need to draw 2 diagonal lines from the left vanishing point that touch the base of the sliding doors that I've drawn at the front right-hand side of this house. And then we need 2 more diagonal lines, this time from the right vanishing point, going towards the left, and this will make a rectangle in 2-point perspective in front of our building. Next, we can give this rectangle some depth by drawing a smaller vertical line going down from this corner, and then another diagonal line from the right to give it a depth on the right as well. We could add a slope here, and then perhaps make this slope into some steps going into the swimming pool. Now we can erase some of the lines that we don't need at this stage. I think I'll add some other shapes to this house to make it more complex, but you wouldn't need to do that, it's up to you. You could make it more or less complex. So I just need to make sure that all the vertical lines stay straight and the diagonal lines go either to the left vanishing point or the right vanishing point. Now at this stage I'll speed up the drawing a little bit because we've drawn the basic house. So basically at this stage you can just design your own house by adding or taking away from this basic block in 2 dimensions that we have. The next step is to go over the lines with a pen. I'll just use a thin black pen to do this. Next, I'll add some colour to the swimming pool, and for this I'm using a watercolour pencil that I'll just shade in, and then I can make it wet with a brush, and then this sort of pencil turns into watercolour when you make it wet. But you could use any sort of colouring material that you have at hand to colour in your drawing if that's what you'd like. Now to make this house by the water, I will draw in some boat piers, basically diagonal lines from the left vanishing point going towards the right. I can make a series of them going away and getting smaller as they go away. And then I need to find out where they all stop, because I'd like them to all stop at the same distance. So I need a diagonal line from the right vanishing point, and then that will sort of cut them all off at the same point, so they all stop at the same length. Next I can add some trees and bushes, and maybe a road towards the top of the horizon, and this road can go away towards the vanishing point on the right, and it will need a bridge on the left, going over another waterway that I'm going to make on the left as well. Now once I've got all the basics drawn, I will draw over the pencil lines I think with a black pen again, and then add some more of these watercolour pencils that I'm using, greens and yellows for the landscape. I'll keep the colouring quite loose, because the line drawing is quite specific, so I want a contrast between the specific line drawing and the looseness of the coloration of the image. Again, I just use some watercolour pencils and add watercolour to these watercolour pencils to make the greens turn into watercolour. I will colour in the waterways as well, blue, and then add some blue to the sky, but I'm leaving some shapes in the water on the right hand side, because I'd like to add some speedboats going down the waterway on the right. For this drawing I use some grey paper for the whole drawing, it's just slightly grey, which means that if I use a soft white pastel I can draw the water spray and it will show up, and that should work okay. And then if I just make a mark here and here, we will get an indication of the water spray from these speedboats jetting off into the distance. I hope you find this drawing tutorial useful for your own drawings. I make a new art tutorial every week, and there are now over 200 of my how to draw videos on YouTube to watch. So just subscribe to Circle Line Art School and then you'll find them all there, and then once you subscribe you'll get a new drawing every week as well. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.